All right, Nick, let's talk about the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Legally obligated to say that every time now for the rest of the season for the Chiefs. But the Chiefs made some really key moves this free agency. Obviously, we know the Chiefs were good last year. They won the Super Bowl. Can't get much better than that. But they made some moves, especially on the defensive side of the ball, Nick, that were really, really big going forward. And I think they're going to be big time upgrades, even bigger than we may have thought coming into this season.
Yeah, Miles, I think the Chiefs did a lot of things right, but I think you found a report that's really interesting that shows that the Chiefs outsmarted even us. We thought they had a great offseason. They did even better than we thought based on the report you found. But before we get into that, Kansas City fans, we want to hear from you as always in the comment section below. The draft is only a few short weeks away. Obviously, you're looking at the Chiefs roster, and I know you think, hey, there's a few position groups we need to address in the draft to really focus on, and we want you to give us the one position group that this Kansas City organization really should focus on and attack in the NFL draft, and let us know what group that is in the comment section below. And make sure you stick around to the end of this video to hear a word from our partner of today's video, Neuro. But all right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of Kansas City?
Yeah, Nick, a position group the Chiefs may not need to upgrade anymore would be that of the defensive line, and especially the edge rush defensive end position, because of key signing of defensive end Charles Omenihu from the San Francisco 49ers. I believe that's how you say his name. Could be wrong, so, correct me in the comments below if I'm saying it wrong. But, Nick, I think that people see this signing and they're writing it off, and they may not be giving it the credit it's due. And there's a very interesting article by Devin Clements over on Heavy.com that kind of gets into this, talking about a former NFL executive who's saying that this move by the Chiefs is going to be a lot bigger than people think. And I'm going to get into the article right here, Nick. Ex-NFL executive Randy Mueller, who's currently the director of player personnel for the XFL's Seattle Sea Dragons, when asked to make a bold prediction based on the Chiefs' offseason signings, Mueller wrote to Heavy Sports that Omenihu will have a breakout campaign this season by setting a career high in sacks. And specifically, Nick, he said he expects Omenihu to get around the 8 to 10 sack range, which would be a career high for him. And he goes on to kind of talk about how he was used in the past. He's never been used to his potential, and being in this Chiefs defensive line, he's going to get a chance to really pin his ears back and rush the passer in a way that he has never been able to before. And he's going to start converting all of these pressures and things like that he's been getting into sacks, Nick. What do you think of this signing? What do you think of the comments by Mueller, and what does this mean for the Chiefs going forward?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, Miles. When I first heard about the Omenihu signing, I think a few weeks ago, I kind of rolled my eyes and said, this is kind of a nothing move, right? They had to cut Frank Clark mainly for salary cap reasons. So they had to add in another pass rusher, someone who was cheaper than Frank Clark. I hadn't really done a whole lot of research on Omenihu. I thought, okay guy. They're just trying to fill a spot with the veteran, right? They didn't want to cut Frank Clark, salary cap casualty. You got to replace him with someone cheaper. Turns out I was 100% wrong. As always, the Chiefs and Veach and company know what the heck they're doing, because I think this may be the most under the radar move out of any of the contenders in the AFC. I was blown away with what I saw from this guy. So you have Omenihu, right? This is a guy, a situational pass rusher. That's his role, but he's also versatile. PFF noted he played both sides of the defensive line, can line up at defensive tackle, 3 technique, 5 technique, wide 7. For those of you who aren't familiar, 3 technique is an outside shade of the offensive guard, 5 technique is outside shade of the offensive tackle, and a wide 7 technique is just further wider than that more traditional pass rush role. So he's a versatile guy that can line up anywhere. He's also really darn good at rushing the passer. If you look at PFF's grades, and I kind of value them because they look at all the film, right? They break down, who is best, who is not as good, right? Just based on what the film says. If you look at PFF, Frank Clark last season, his pass rush grade, according to PFF, 62.9. Respectable, but not outstanding. You look at Omenihu's, 75.3. Again, for those of you who don't spend a lot of time on PFF, anything in the mid 70s is like a really good player, because once you get to like the 80 level, that's Pro Bowl, all pro kind of status. So if you look at Omenihu's grade on PFF, the guys watching the film, this guy's already better than Frank Clark. He's also younger, and he's also cheaper. So you look at the fact that the Chiefs cut Frank Clark, open up $20 million in cap space, and they take a cap hit of Omenihu this season of $4.8 million. So they basically save $15 million, got a younger player who's also versatile, who's probably actually really better right now at their point in their careers. I mean, I didn't even think about this at the time of the signing. This looks like a great move. And I think this former NFL exec you pointed out, Mize, is really onto something, because I think this is a guy who's going to be a huge force for the Chiefs next season.
Yeah, Nick. And I think the thing is with the 49ers, a many who didn't really have a chance to shine
Yeah.
there. They had the young guy in Drake Jackson, who they drafted last year, who got a lot of reps as well. They have Nick Bosa. So how are you going to compete with Nick Bosa? That guy is really hard to compete with. So he didn't quite get all of the opportunities he needed. But in the limited opportunities he did get, Nick, he had 54 total pressures last year, his first full year with the 49ers. 39 QB hurries, 10 QB hits, 5 sacks. So if we go off his first year in competition with guys like Nick Bosa, in competition with the younger guy like Drake Jackson, this 49ers team was really, really good last year. But going on a Chiefs team, I think this is his chance to be a star. He can shine. He can grow. He immediately, I think Karlaftis will grow into a really great player. But I think off the rip, a mini who's going to be just a tier above Karlaftis is going to be a more savvy pass rusher. He's got a little bit more experience. He's been there a few more times, Nick. So I think this is going to be a really big season for him as well. And when you look and listen to what Mueller says about him, I think he hit the nail on the head. This was a really great signing for the Chiefs, and it's potential for the Chiefs to grow, but also a Minihu to grow when he gets the opportunity. He is primed to have a big breakout season this year.
All right, Miles, we would like to give a special thanks to our partner in today's video, Neuro.
That's right, Nick. And I want you to go with me on a journey really fast. I want you to imagine this. It's 4th and goal in the big game, Nick. Your team is relying on you to make the big time game winning play. I know you've been in this situation before, Nick. The stadium is roaring. The clock is ticking. The game is on the line. But if only in that moment you were able to have some Neuro Gum. Neuro Gum will help you stay concentrated, and it gives you a burst of energy without a nasty crash.
That's right, Mize. Neuro has thoughtfully curated ingredients and does endless lab testing, which means that you can reach the right state of mind safely and consistently. That's the most important part. It gives you a clean burst of energy and focus without the jitters of coffee or any of those other energy drinks.
That's right, Nick. And if you click our sponsor link in the description below, you can enjoy energy, calm, and focus whenever you need it.